Good evening, crafting friends. I'm Dorene Decibus from It Begins with Ink and Paper, and welcome to Fun Fold Friday and the 12 Days of Halloween. I'm doing a combined show tonight, one fun fold, but also being a Halloween card using the Playful Ghost set. So I have here on the table the projects we've made so far. So we've done 6 projects over 6 nights. I have made 3 cards and 3 treat holders. So one of the first cards we made was a multi-fold panel card, more like a Z fold, I guess you could say. Just a cute, fun card. Then on the second night, I believe it was, we made this triangular treat set box that holds, let's see, I think it was, let me just peek, oh yeah, it was York peppermint patties, and it holds 3 of them. Then we made this really cute Boo card that is a sliding easel card. So the top slides up and just goes right behind the treat holder. Hi Lynn, thanks for joining me. Then I made a this potion and spells card. Really cute. Kind of goes with last night's project. I made 2 projects 2 nights in a row. This project from last night is one of those secretly hidden pulling candy bar treat holder. So the ribbon holds the candy bar in place. I have a tag here, and when I push it back in, the ribbon holds the treat in place. So we have this one that it does go with this card, I guess we could say. And then I made this really cool Halloween treat box that is covered with the green kind of cauldron-y, bubbly paper. And when I open it up and you look on the other side of the tag, you see a little surprise greeting on the back. And this one holds 2 Kit Kats. So tonight we're going to make a card, and it is a fun fold, as I just said. So, and it's a really easy fun fold, so that's the great part. So this is the card we're going to make tonight. And when you open it, you can see it has a top flap and a bottom flap, and that little boo on the inside. The designer series paper really takes front and center because we're going to use a large piece of the designer series paper, and we're going to be scoring it to make the card and to create this fold. So I'm just going to open my computer up because I have the score measures in my document. So let me just find day 7 here and we'll get started. Okay, day 6 was okay, let's get to day 7. Sorry, I'm just going right over. I guess we'll just look at the paper that we need and I'll measure it right here instead of reading. So I put these in so I wouldn't misplace them. These are those gorgeous bright dots, glossy dots that have the gorgeous grape and the pool party inside. Just makes for a nice addition with this stamp set. So for paper, I am going to need a piece of designer series paper. You can choose any design that you like. And this piece has the pool party on the inside and has these crazy stripes that I just love so much on the outside. This measures 4 by 12. So we are going to be scoring this. And this is how I'm going to tell you, since I don't have my little thing open. We are going to be scoring this at 2 3/4 inches and at 8 inches. So 2 3/4 and 8. So let's do that right now. I just grab my scoring tool. So 2 3/4 and 8 inches. So here is 2 3/4 and here is 8 inches. There we go. And that's all the scoring we need. All right, so I'm going to use my bone folder and I'm going to fold these score marks. I'm going to make sure they're even with the side before I score it so that I don't have any uneven edges. And I'm going to do the same over here. Again, making sure everything's lined up. So there we go. We have our top edge. We have our bottom edge. And then this part of the card measures 5 1/4. Okay. So the next part is that to give the base of the card some weight, we are going to use basic black and pumpkin pie cardstock. So we only need a 1/4 sheet of this. So the basic black is the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and this one is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So we just have that little bit of an edge of color. So I'm just going to add this one to this to get it on nice and centered. I have to tell you, I so lucked out with the weather this week. I had scheduled my class to do a forest study all this week, and we were in the woods every day, and we were in the woods pretty early. My first science class starts at 7:15 in the morning, and boy, we lucked out with a nice week. I mean, it definitely was a little cooler, you know, at the start of each day, but boy, the day just became so warm and sunny. I just felt it was such a gift to have this beautiful weather this week. And then on the one day that it got, you know, pretty chilly out there was today, but we were playing a review game of Jeopardy in the classroom. So that worked out really nice. Okay, so there's the card, mostly, I guess we could say, put together. So this piece, these two pieces are going to be what's going to be layered on the inside. So I have a piece of basic black that measures 3 3/4 by 5, and the piece of basic white measures 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. So let's, on this piece, stamp our boo. I mean, the boos and the little bats are my favorite in this. Now, I know this week I have been doing, obviously, Halloween cards, and one of the things that I want you to think about is that you could take any of the card sketches I'm using or any of the folds. You could take any of the boxes that I'm making, that I've made, or the treat holders, and you could definitely turn it into a Christmas or Thanksgiving theme. And I will be doing the 12 Days of Christmas in November, so that will give you a little head start on getting some things organized and done for your card making and give you some ideas. I'm not going to just do a repeat of these projects. I have 12 other projects to do with you, so that will be a lot of fun. And then I will do something later in December where we have a kind of Christmas made easy. Those last minute, you all of a sudden realize you're at home that you need a gift for a coworker at work. And I can show you some cute things that you can do at the last minute to make those things come together. Okay. So this piece is going to go here. Let's do our stamping on this. So the first thing I'm going to do is stamp my pumpkin. Realized when I started planning my projects, I planned using, I didn't use the ghost in my first half, well, a little over half, because this is our over halfway mark. I didn't use the little ghost, and then I start using it again. So I apologize for that, but you will see some ghost projects coming up. Okay, so I have my trick or treat. I have my little guy there that we're going to color in. I always have to cover up my ink pads because I am famous for throwing some. I always just move things on my desk, and I am famous for throwing a card or something right on top of the ink pad and getting it all stained. And there's nothing worse than having a card that has this big blotch of ink on it because you haven't been paying quite enough attention. So I really try now to close my ink pads. So what I'm doing on this is I'm using pumpkin pie and granny apple green for my different colors. And I'm coloring this exactly the way I've colored my other pumpkins and projects with this particular stamp. I am not working on doing a whole bunch of blending, just doing a little bit of blending. But like I said, you don't have to blend at all if you don't want to. You could also use watercolor. You could use your blender pens. You could use the brushes where you can put the water in it and squeeze out and use the ink pad to be coloring in. So there are lots of options when you color. You can just use plain colored pencils. You could even use our Stampin' Write markers and color things in. So when it comes to coloring, we've got you covered. Or maybe I should say we've got you colored. So again, I'm just going to, sorry about the squeaky marker. When I use the small tip, it squeaks like this. When I use the paintbrush end, it doesn't. All right, so that part is done. And so the next part that I want to do before I put this on the, I'm going to put this on the pumpkin pie, but before I put it onto the card, I want to put some ribbon on it. So I am going to center this onto the piece of pumpkin pie. And then this time I am going to be taking our vanilla and black checked gingham ribbon. So I don't need a ton for this. So let me just, this is coming off. I have next to my desk a cart where I have my rolls of ribbon. And let me get a piece of scrap paper. I think I have one here that I've been using this week. Move these pieces out of the way. And I am going to take my dark pumpkin pie. Again, when I'm coloring the ribbon, I want to use the brush tip. I want to make sure the brush tip is completely on its side because I don't want to ruin the marker by scribbling on it. So I'm just running it right along the side. It's very easy to do. And it's just so effective. It gives you, if you have the color, if you have the blend, you have the ribbon color. And there's so many other ribbons that you can color in our ribbon collection. So it's just a nice way to take a spool of ribbon and just add so much to that spool through the coloring of the ribbon. It does make the ribbon a little stiffer, not terribly, just a little bit. There we go. But I think what I like about it, it not only adds variety to your ribbon, but it also is another way you can be using your stamping blends. And I just didn't get the edge right here. So let me just do that, make sure I didn't miss it anywhere else. Just missed it on one side, it looks like. There we go. That is all set. So what I am going to do is, I can do this one of two ways. I think I cut enough that I can tie a bow. Yes, more than enough. But what I usually do is I just put a piece that goes across the top and it has a long enough edge so that I can tape it on the back. And then what I do is tie a bow and I attach it to the front. Because tying a bow on a live is like my downfall usually. So we'll see. I have figured out a way to help me with that, and I'm going to show you my trick. It's my self-closing tweezers. So I am going to get the bow started, tighten it as much as I can, and then I'm going to put my self-closing tweezers there. That will close, you know, like having someone's finger in the bow. Oops, let me. It's probably just not long enough. It's long enough to do it the other way. But let's see what we can get. Then when you have a bow, you just take it out, can tighten it again, and then I'm just going to resize it. Resize it again. It always seems like I have to resize it a few times. And then trim the ribbon. And that's our bow with the colored pumpkin pie ribbon. Love it. So to go on the front, I am going to just center this on the front. And I am going to be at the upper edge of this. I'm going to be putting some dimensionals. And I have some I'm at the side point of my dimensionals. So I'm just going to put a couple of rows of these edges. I use them probably more generously than I should, but it's easier to cut these little ones or the odd-shaped ones in a straight line and put them on the back of the card. So that should be more than enough. Oh, perfect. So let's get these pieces off, and then we can just add our bling to our card. And we'll be done. So much fun. All right, and it's easier to take those off. So like I said, my plan is to just center this on the front of the card. Now, when I put my bling on, I did use the purple, and I put 3 at the top and 3 in the bottom, but I think I'm going to do it up a little bit. And I think that I am going to, on this one, use some of the Pool Party. So I am going to put one here. I always make my gems in the shape of a triangle. And I think because the Pool Party's right up here, and then the Pool Party is also on the inside, that just makes it, just adding that little color element is so pretty. So this is our Fun Fold Friday and 12 Days of Halloween, all in one kit and caboodle. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope you have a fabulous fall weekend, wherever you are. And I hope you're back Sunday night. Sunday night I am going to do both shows. I'm going to do Simply Stamping Sunday, and I'm going to do the 12 Days of Halloween, but I'm going to have to adjust the times. So just look on my Facebook page, and once I know how I'm going to do it, I will make sure it is posted so you know when to tune in. So thank you so much. Have a great rest of your evening, and I'll see you Sunday night for both the 12 Days of Halloween and Simply Stamping Sunday. Good night, everybody.